Welcome to Friendship and Joy with Karen and Suzanne. I'm Karen.
And I'm Suzanne.
And today we are going to be talking about the brioche stitch. I know I've shown this little scarf in the past, and what is so nice about the brioche knit stitch is that it is completely reversible. So you can have the colors come through a little different on each side. On both sides. And it looks like it's knitted on both sides.
And how do you pronounce it?
I say brioche.
Brioche?
I think that's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong now. Brioche.
Brioche?
Yeah, I think brioche. Brioche.
We'll go with brioche.
We go with brioche.
Okay.
And it is a very nice way of knitting, but I have shied away from it in the past because when I've looked on YouTube tutorials, it's very confusing. And I've figured out it doesn't have to be confusing. There's a couple of things you need to know before you start when you knit brioche.
Some basic rules.
Some basic rules.
Yes.
It is always done on double pointed needles like this or a circular needle.
Okay.
Because you knit each row, you knit twice. And with two colors like this, you have one as the main color. I call it color A, and you have color B. And you always begin by knitting with the color A, and then you knit with color B. So
when you go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to knit, and then slide the work back, and knit with the second color.
Okay.
So that is what. So before we go in, there are a couple of things that I want you now to write down because it will help you in the long run. Front, row 1, knit with color A. Row 2, purl with color B. Back, row 3, purl with color A. Row 4, knit with color B. Now this is going to help you know where you are because it gets a little confusing each row, and if you put the work down and come back, what have I done? But if you write down row 1, 2, 3, and 4, you know where you are.
So is this the rotation that you continue with the project?
So this is how you always do it. Each row you always knit with color A first, and then you're going to go back and purl with color B, and then on the other side is the opposite. And this is why when I did this one, this one was knitted on the round, so that's even easier because you always knit with color A and you always purl with color B, so it's actually easier to do this on the round. But here I am going now to demonstrate how to get started. There's a setup row you do, and after that setup row you start with your 4-row sequence if you go back and forth, and if you do it on the round you just knit with your color A and purl with your color B.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to demonstrate, I'm just going to cast on 20 stitches and of my main color here. This color I'm going to call color A from now on. So the first row is your setup row, and for demonstration purposes I'm gonna do a edge stitch on each end, beginning and end. It's a little easier that way. So you begin your setup row by doing a knit, yarn over, slip, and knit. Yarn over, slip, and knit. Yarn over, slip, and knit. Now we're not going to turn the work. We're going to slide it back to the beginning again. And we're going to pick up our color B. In this case, a lovely brown one. So back at the beginning again, and with color B, I'm gonna just knit the first stitch to get it on my work, that edge stitch I was talking about. And the knit stitches that you see here now will be slipped. And then I'm going to purl this row. So here we go, yarn over, slip, and purl these two together as one. This is the yarn over and the one knit stitch, so those get purled together as one. Yarn over, slip, and purl two together. Yarn over, slip, and purl two together. And yarn over, slip, purl two together. Yarn over, slip, purl two together, stitch. So that was the second row. Now we're going to turn the work, and we are going to begin again with our color A, and we're going to purl. Except for the first stitch, which is my edge stitch here. Never mind, just do my edge. Here we are. So here you see the brown stitch here is going to be slipped, and we are going to purl this stitch here together with that yarn over. This is going to be our brioche purl. So yarn over, slip, and purl together. Yarn over, slip, purl together. Yarn over, slip, purl together. Yarn over, slip, purl two together. Yarn over, slip, purl two together. Now go back to the beginning again and do row number 4. And row number 4 is knit again. So it goes knit, purl, purl, knit. Let's do our edge stitch. And you see this, here's our brioche stitch already. This is the yarn over with the knit. So we begin by knit those two together, yarn over, slip, knit, 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 yarn over. And I've also seen some fabulous shawls from Stephen West, West Knits. He designs some fantastic brioche shawls.
So we'll include those pictures as well.
Yeah, or at least a link to his
exactly.
Where he does, because I mean, but I have to now practice a little bit more before I tackle one of his shawls because they're quite advanced. But I'm just so pleased when I kind of broke it down, because I have been wanting to do this for a long time, and it seems just so confusing, but it's not really. Once you get into it, it is not. It is just, you know, like yarn over, slip, knit two together, yarn over, slip, knit two together. And once you get that sort of the habit of doing that, it's not hard to do.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to try the brioche.
Yes, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
And then
absolutely.
by next time, Suzanne's going to show us what she made.
Yeah, well. What's his name? Tyler?
Stephen Knits.
Stephen Knits.
No, Stephen West.
Stephen West.
Yeah.
We'll be wearing Stephen West's shawls.
I wish. They're quite, he does a lot of fun things, yeah. He does a mystery shawl that I have not done it yet, but one of these days I want to get on. So you kind of go on to his website, you purchase his pattern, and then you get like clues each week or so. So you kind of like get a little bit at a time, and you don't know what's coming, so you don't know how it will end up.
Oh my gosh.
Super fun, super cool. Like, he's kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. Yeah.
There's nothing better than to have a shawl, because shawls you can wear with anything. Dress it
love
up,
my
dress
shawls.
it down. Yeah.
Dress it
shawls.
up, dress it down.
Right.
Oh, I gotta pick up my knitting. I gotta finish this sweater, the upside down sweater that I am so now bored with, but I gotta just finish it.
You're finished with the tricky part.
Yeah.
You can actually
to
talk
me,
now.
Yeah, I can talk now. Yeah.
You can be part of this. You don't have to focus as
I
much.
love your sweater, Suzanne.
You know,
I know
what?
we've talked about this in the past, have we? No, we've seen. There's a picture on Instagram. Go on Instagram and check out this sweater. But tell us a little bit about your sweater, Suzanne.
This was at a time. This is probably 30 years old.
I love
No,
it.
actually, it's not. Can't be, because I started knitting it when my daughter was, I think, 1 or 2.
Oh, okay. So
But I bought it as a kit, and don't be afraid if you go into a wool store and you see a whole bunch of kits. It's a lot of fun.
kits are great.
Yeah, they are great.
Because they have already measured out as much
Exactly.
the amount of yarn that you need.
Yeah, and sometimes it's tricky to pick your colors, but anyway, can't remember where I picked this up from, but it's kept me warm throughout the years, so
But this is a cotton yarn,
Yeah.
is it not?
it is. It's absolutely
Beautiful.
Yeah, I really like it.
So you have done color work.
Yes.
Is it in tars?
Yes,
Intarsia?
yeah.
Is that what you call it? When
Yeah.
you drop the yarn, you don't carry it?
Actually, no. I'm pretty sure that this is carried.
Oh, it is.
I think so. And it's obviously not, it's not done on the round, as you can see. No, it was very easy to do, and great color combination, I think.
I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Thank you.
Speaking of cardigans like this, there is a way that you can knit on the round, even when you do a cardigan. But that means you steek the front.
I know, that's so scary.
It is scary, but
Yeah.
I have done it several times, and now I'm a huge fan of steeking.
Really?
Because as I think I mentioned in the past, I despise knitting color work on the purl side.
You really do.
I don't like it.
I know.
It doesn't flow well for me, and it is to carry the floats is too confusing. So I'd rather steek, even though it goes against the nature in a way. It feels like cutting into the work that you've just done is so scary.
It is.
But I always do a couple of secure line I crochet secure the edge.
seam? Oh, the
Yes,
edge, okay.
before I cut into it, I secure it with a crochet row. So I never had a problem with it. And what happens is when you do that little crochet row, naturally the fabric just folds onto itself, so you end up with a proper seam.
Maybe you will.
Maybe
we'll need to do it.
Maybe we'll do that in another episode. Ka-ching! Another idea.
Yes.
Yeah, because steeking is kind of scary, but it doesn't have to be, and I much rather steek than knit back and forth. So you're gonna figure out what works for you. I don't think there's any right or wrong. Just figure out what works for you when it comes to your knitting.
I find, depending on what your mood is like, or what I work quite a bit, and when I get home, I just want to crochet or knit something very simple.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I don't want to read a pattern that's too complex, because I know somehow it's not going to be.
It depends. Yeah. Sometimes you just want
to keep your mind.
keep going. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Carry on.
So that's to me. And then, of course, if you're on vacation and you are alone and, your spouse doesn't sit and want to talk to you while you read a complicated pattern, because that's another thing.
That's another thing. You become a little antisocial when you really get into a complicated pattern.
Like,
Don't touch me!
Leave me alone!
Leave me alone!
No one's talking.
Shh! Oh yeah, my family hates it when I get
Yeah.
into something like that.
Can I talk now, Mom?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No. Shh.
Yeah, so we've traumatized our children.
So that's why. I mean, we've talked about this before too. But yes, I'm a huge fan of having different projects depending on what mood you're in. And sometimes I have worked on something very specific, and it needed my full concentration, and then it feels so good to just put on a podcast, do something like this, and just knit for for a little while without thinking. You just sit there and go, go, go. That's...
Or sometimes when you feel really inspired and you're like, I'm gonna dwell into something complicated.
Yeah.
And then you feel so good because you
Yeah.
mastered it. So
Yeah.
that's another thing. So
Oh yeah. There's nothing as exciting as cracking a difficult pattern.
Right?
It's like a math problem. Not that I like math, but once you get it, it's like, whoa, my God! My brain just grew a little.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually gives you confidence.
It feels great.
Yeah.
And that is what now I have come to a point where I don't shy away from any pattern. It takes me a while sometimes to get into a specific difficult, tricky style of knitting or a difficult pattern, but I've decided that I can do anything as long as I break it down, take it step by step, and as long as I'm not afraid of messing up. Because I sometimes go in with a practice yarn just to see if I can tackle that. And once I know I can do it, then I go out and get some proper yarn and I go to it. Like, to me, it's the process more so than finishing a project.
It's true, because once you finish it, you're like, now what? Oh,
Yeah,
right?
now I just need more yarn. No,
you can never have enough yarn.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
And since we both like to knit and crochet, I think we also like to mix up. Sometimes I knit a lot and sometimes I crochet a lot, and I like to
Mix it up.
I like to do both, yeah.
You know what? There's nothing more comforting, especially now during the winter time when it's snowing outside. You've got your fire
I
going.
know, the cozy feel.
You're listening to an audiobook
I know.
and you're
I
in my-
love that, yeah.
in my case, I'm just finishing up a blanket. My friend who I am making it for,
She's coming to visit you?
she's coming from Sweden. My friend Annika, we've been friends since we were both 9.
Oh,
She's like a sister.
nice.
No, she is a sister.
Yeah.
Not just to me, but to my sister Mia. So it's gonna be exciting to make her something. I don't think
That's nice.
I've ever made anything for her, but I know she's gonna love this.
She will.
Yeah.
She will. She will love it.
So and it's funny, she does not knit, she does not crochet, she doesn't do, I'm not sure why, she's just not
None of us
into
into it.
Yeah.
What a strange person.
What's wrong with her?
What's wrong?
What's wrong with you, Annika?
How can you not knit?
Yeah, no, but she's gonna love it, and I'm so excited because
Aw.
I know how much she's gonna love it, and
Yeah.
she deserves it because she is just such a wonderful person.
Friendship and joy on
I
that
know,
one.
right?
Friendship and joy on that one.
Yes, very nice, nicely
I
said.
love it. Yeah. Tried a few years ago to get my sister. My sister knows how to knit, and
Which one?
Osa.
Oh, okay.
And well, Mia does too. Mia used to knit a lot when she was a teenager. She was the one that would knit a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I got into it. Now she hasn't knit in years. So I don't think she has knit anything in so long. But then Osa was kind of getting into it, or if I forced her, I can't remember. It may have been that I basically put a pair of knitting needles in her hands and said, "Here, do this," and I never followed up with her. So Osa, if you're watching this, did your scarf turn out? Did you end up doing it, or is it still laying there in your kitchen? Oh, let me know, okay? You can't run away from me.
Are they coming to visit you?
Not this year, I don't think. But they came last year.
Right.
So we have to decide what to do with our little channel. While I'm away, we may not be able to spit out an episode every week. We will try to keep filming, but we may have to do it.
We might have to
Little
do it
separate.
separately. Yeah, I might do some.
You
here.
might do some, and I might do some others. So we'll have to figure out how we go forward now when I'm away. But
Or maybe I'll have to come down.
Dominic has already planned for you to come. He thinks you need to book your ticket because you need to keep spitting out episodes.
When you are down in Florida, you're gonna visit our.
Our yarn store there.
Yeah.
We seek out our yarn stores. We like to go and seek out
Oh.
different yarn stores. It's like a hobby in itself.
Yeah, it is.
And we did find, well, it's pretty much the one and only, I think. They have yarn at Michael's and things like that, but this is a proper yarn store in Fort Lauderdale. And you'd think nobody knits down there because it's warm, but oh yeah, there's
Do they ever?
Oh, they knit beautiful things. And this little yarn store is called Yarn and Arts, and Maria, I think the owner's name is. We've met her before, and she is super friendly. And she often, when you walk in there, it's like a party because they sit around, a bunch of ladies laughing, talking. It's like they have a glass of wine and then they sit and knit. And
they actually do.
They do.
Yeah,
they have a glass of wine there. It's like, and come sit down, have a glass of wine. So that is where I'm gonna hang out when I'm in Florida. And she has beautiful yarns there too. So when you come, we can go and make a little visit to that store. And
we're gonna go. This is going to be fun. Let's go hunting in Miami. Do you think they have wool yarn stores in Miami?
Of course, they must. They must.
We need to know where.
But I also think if we go further up, like to Del Rey and Boca Raton and those places, they must have. We should seek out. We see, where do you knit in Florida? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we
Tell
need to
us.
know.
Yes.
We need to know.
But I find when you go into a knitting store, there's always people that are willing to help you. They're always so polite.
Yeah.
They are always so interested to find out what you're working on and what you like to do and what wool you like to work with.
I find that most people that are knitters are very eager to help you.
Of course, there is the odd nasty one.
I don't want to bring up negative things, but I need to get this off my chest. So I have a little story. I don't know if this... Okay, so I had a little story. My friend Sia and I went to the Knitting Frolic. I think it's called the Knitters Frolic or Knitting Frolic.
Oh, here
it's
in Toronto.
It's an annual
that's
show.
The one I missed on
you miss it all the time. It usually is in April, and it's a big show, and they have gorgeous yarn all over. And anybody who's into knitting loves to go there, of course. So here we are, we're bumper to bumper, we're looking at things and it's kind of tight and whatever, and this woman walks around with a cardigan that is so exquisite. It is beautiful, probably 10 or 11 different colors in this cardigan, and the pattern is perfect. Very intricate pattern, beautiful color work, stranded knitting, color work. And of course, when you see somebody wearing something like that, what do you say? I was like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Did you make that yourself? And the answer was, oh, you're the 50th person asking me that. Of course I made it myself. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I'm not a walking exhibition. Everyone's poking and pulling at, prodding at me, and I'm not a walking exhibition. And my friend and I, we were just looking at each other like, who pissed in her cornflakes? It's like, so here's my little tip, okay? If you don't want attention drawn to yourself, don't wear a sweater like that to a yarn show where everybody gets crazy excited when they see something that's that beautiful. But that is also the one nasty knitter I've ever met. Everyone else seems to be happy.
Actually, it was funny because before we met Arne and Carlos, Karen said to me, oh my gosh,
I'm nervous.
What? Yeah, you were nervous.
I was nervous.
What if they don't turn out to be as nice as they appear to be?
I was a little nervous
on YouTube
because I was like, I've liked them for a long time and I want to keep liking them. What if they're jerks?
Yeah.
What if then I can't like them anymore? Because if they're mean, of course they were not mean. They were awesome. They were fun.
Fantastic.
They were exactly the way. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
They were great. But I was there for 5 minutes.
Were.
I was like, oh, now I'm nervous. What if they're mean?
No, they were very, very. Lot of great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable.
So, anyways. Once you, here's my little swatch again for this. Brioche. I just did a little brioche knit. It doesn't look very good right now, but basically you can absolutely see what it turns into. Once you go for a little bit, you got the brown coming through on one side, and you got the turquoise coming out on the other side.
Combo.
Well, it's more just to show, right? So you can really truly see what it's supposed to look like.
Nice
so And again, if you want to do this on the round, you just set it up the same sort of way with the first setup round that I showed you, and it's actually easier to just knit with color A and do your purl with color B. And happy knitting. And I think that's it for now.
Should we turn on our podcast and continue knitting?
We will.
Yes.
We will. Until next time.
Don't forget to press the like button.
Thumbs up. Bye.
Bye.
Jag har gjort fel igen. Är inte det lite roligt?
Nu får du komma in så du syns i bilden.
Kan jag få börja bara?
Ja.
Jag har bara gjort 10 såna här innan. Jag har ett blak. Okej. Vad ska vi...
That's important.
Yes.
Passport. Yeah, don't delay. Get your passport.
Yeah.
If it expires, go and sign up. Don't be like Suzanne over here. Wait until it's like 3 months expired and she has to start over again. No. So
No, I just want
Casualty.
to...
She pricked me with her needle.
She pricked me.
She pricked me on purpose, I think. Okay, take care. Until next time. Don't forget to press the like button. Say so. You say it.
Don't forget.
Oj. Kanske blev 2 till.
Ja, får se.
Med allt
Ja, men herregud.